In the shadowed forests and icy lands of ancient Slavic tribes, there was a god whose name was rarely spoken, a deity feared rather than worshipped, believed to bring ruin and despair to all who crossed his path. This was Chernobog, the black god, the lord of misfortune, darkness, and death. But was he truly evil? Or was his presence necessary to maintain balance in the universe? Slavic mythology is built on duality, light and dark, life and death, fortune and misfortune. At the heart of this eternal struggle stand two opposing yet interconnected gods: Belobog, the god of light and prosperity, and Chernobog, his shadowed counterpart. While Belobog represented the sun, warmth, and abundance, Chernobog was seen as the embodiment of suffering, cold, and chaos. To speak his name was to invite misfortune, and to fall under his influence meant a path filled with suffering. Unlike other deities who were worshipped for blessings, Chernobog was feared and avoided. He wasn't a god people prayed to for help. He was a force they sought to escape from. His presence was blamed for wars, plagues, failed harvests, and bitter winters. To protect themselves from his wrath, Slavic tribes performed special rituals during winter solstice festivals like Kolyada, a celebration marking the rebirth of the sun. During Kolyada, priests and shamans would gather around great fires, chanting incantations to drive Chernobog away. They would cast charms, burn offerings, and banish his darkness to ensure the coming year was free of misfortune. But even then, his shadow loomed. Some legends say that he would walk among mortals in disguise, cursing those who disrespected the balance of nature or ignored the warnings of the gods. Unlike many mythological deities with rich, detailed histories, Chernobog's origins remain a mystery. The earliest recorded mention of him comes from the 12th century writings of a German priest named Helmold of Bossau. Helmold described Slavic beliefs as being dualistic, one god of light and one god of darkness, a concept that seems strikingly similar to later Christian ideas of God and the devil. However, modern scholars believe this black and white interpretation of Chernobog may be an oversimplification. In ancient Slavic beliefs, gods were not inherently good or evil. They were forces of nature, each with their own necessary role in the universe. Chernobog was not a villain. He was the darkness that made light meaningful, the chaos that allowed order to exist. Some believe Chernobog may have been influenced by even older Indo-European myths, linking him to figures like the Norse god Loki, the Hindu deity Kali, or even the Greek god Hades. He was never described as a ruler of an underworld, but his presence was always associated with destruction, transformation, and the unpredictable forces of fate. Although the ancient Slavic belief systems faded over time, Chernobog's legend never truly disappeared. His image, a shadowy figure with glowing eyes, sometimes depicted with horns or monstrous features, has inspired countless adaptations in modern culture. He appears as a villain in video games, literature, and even television shows. One of the most famous portrayals of Chernobog comes from Disney's Fantasia, 1940, where he is depicted as a massive winged demon commanding spirits and shadows in the segment Night on Bald Mountain. This portrayal, while visually striking, is heavily influenced by Christian imagery rather than actual Slavic mythology. In the modern fantasy world, Chernobog is often portrayed as an evil deity, a dark force seeking to consume the world. But is this fair? Could it be that he is not a malevolent force, but simply a god doing his part in maintaining cosmic balance? After all, without darkness, how could we ever recognize the light? In the end, Chernobog is not just a god of darkness, he is a symbol of the inevitability of misfortune. He represents the harsh realities of existence, the cycles of loss, struggle, and transformation that all humans must face. Rather than being a god of evil, Chernobog may instead be a force of fate itself, a deity who reminds us that suffering is a part of life and that without it, growth and change would be impossible. In many ways, his role is similar to that of death itself, an undeniable, inescapable force, neither good nor bad, but simply necessary. But what do you think? Is Chernobog truly an evil god, or is he simply misunderstood? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the myths and legends of the ancient world.